Hello Moment friends, Andang here, very excited because today we are starting Update 20 Battle at the Black Gate, and as you can see it is clearly launch day. There are so many players just all over the place within the camp of the Host of the West here, and we're ready to get going, so let's talk to Aragorn.
The only hope of victory lies with Frodo, but we still have a part to play.
In this great struggle, Andang, I asked Dervin to prepare the men for departure, for I believe it might take longer than expected for the Host of the West to set out upon this last march. Heavy are the feet that dread before the approaching road, but still they must step one before the other. Look for Dervin where the northward road departs from the camp, my friend, and ask him if the men are ready to leave. Andang, while those faint hearts have departed, I feel we must do something for the men who remain. They have lost so much already, and this may be our last true chance to bolster their spirits before we move into the enemy's territory. I would have you speak with Lord Galasgiel. With so few lords of Gondor left, I will need him to bear more of the burden of leadership. I know he will show a brave face in front of his men, if I ask it of him. Alright, I just realized we never really found out what happened to Denethor through the whole battle at Pelennor Fields and all that stuff. So hopefully they'll address that at some point. They kind of just totally skipped over that whole thing. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. Time to talk to Éomer King.
We must continue this fight in honor of our fallen.
Andang, may I ask a favor of you? Old tales among my people tell of the time before we settled in Rohan. We called ourselves the Eotheod then, and Golflaf believed it was through this land that our ancestors came, down from the Vale of Anduin, all the way to the Riddermark, where we saw the goodness of the land, and made our home. While you are out assisting the rangers in the No-Man lands, will you keep an eye out for any intact sign or remnant of the forebearers of the Rohirrim? It would mean much to possess some such piece of our distant past. Awesome. Absolutely we'll do that. Alright, Legolas, let's talk.
I look out upon this land and feel a deep sorrow.
Where Ithilien is beautiful, the wastes are blighted and cursed. Evil's taint seeks always to spread, and we must not let that happen. Go out into the No-Man lands and take a closer look. Remove the blight wherever you find it. Oh, so I need a closer look to see what you're talking about, Legolas, but you can see from back here. I see what you're saying, crazy elf.
The earth has reclaimed the deeds of men and orc, fair or foul.
Lord Elisar has asked me to do something for the men. I will do my best if my king wishes it. This would have been a task better suited for someone like Forlong, but alas, it falls to me. He is not mistaken. Gondor has lost much already, but we all know that if we do not act now, we will lose everything. What would Forlong have done? I have an idea. Gather the men from around my camp, and some kegs of ale. Then meet me back here. We will celebrate one last time before we march bravely into the enemy's maw. And we can't beckon these soldiers because everybody's online, and so everybody's just going between all these soldiers, which was something I was worried about, because basically all throughout all of these zones, you have to worry about being the first one there, because they're all interactable just to one person, which is really a not very smart way to be designing the first area that your players are going to go into on launch day. Okay, we finally got 1 out of 8. Dervin and Pippin are staring out the road ahead. I decided to just go ahead and move on with this, and we'll get back to that other quest.
This road will take us to the very gate of Mordor.
This road will take us across the blasted plains of Dagorlad to the very gate of Mordor. The men stir with restlessness, but they will obey their liege, whether he is Éomer or Aragorn. Others there are, too, who have joined this host in cause of allied friendship. If they have not turned back now, I believe they will never abandon us. I have shared words with Peregrine Took here, and he too has a courage about him.
This is the road to Mordor. No one could mistake it for anything else.
It looks as I would have expected it to look, had I ever wanted to fill my heart with fright and my mind with unease at the considering. I did not. Dervin has had some kind words to say concerning my courage, and I did not want to offend him by disagreeing, but I think he sees what is not there. If I were truly brave, would I feel so frightened at the prospect of taking this road? Certainly not. But Aragorn believes that we have to do this, and I have smarts enough to know he is more wise than I am. If he says there is no other way, this hobbit will not gainsay him. This is the road we must take. Let's continue to gather soldiers, even though there's all these soldiers here. Apparently there's only 8 that we can collect, and what's even crazier than that is that they don't respond very quickly at all, which is really unfortunate. 5 out of 8. We're getting so far with this quest. Yes! Finally 8 out of 8. You have to understand, even though this was edited down, in actuality it took half an hour for me to get all of these 8 soldiers. Something that should have taken maybe a minute if it had been set up differently.
Be wary, my friends. Evil spoils these grounds.
Anyway, rant's over. Let's just get on with this. Thank you, Andeng. The men and ale are gathered. Here goes nothing. Wish me luck, friend. Men, I have gathered you here for a toast. Gondor has lost many brave souls, and we must honor them, not with sorrow, but with joy. We will celebrate their lives and the bravery that saved Gondor from a wretched evil, and we will face the same evil with joy in our hearts, for we know we fight in their name, and in the name of Gondor. A toast for Herlin, for Forlong, for Gondor, for Gondor! Forlong had a song that he loved and was rather pushy about everyone singing it before the battle at Pelennor Fields, as this was his way. I'm sure you all remember it. He made sure of that. A song that makes the heart yearn for adventure. Who will join me? Alright, that's awesome. They are all singing and saying that I will fly, I will not stay, seeking fortune, love, and war. Fantastic. That's really cool. I will fly away and further roam, but I will never turn back home. No, I shall wend back there no more. No more, no more, no more, no more. Ah yes, we were supposed to sing with them. There we go. And now we get to wait to talk to this guy once more, because for some reason that's how this quest is set up. This really should have been in an instance at this point, I'm thinking, because it's just ridiculous how long this has been taking. Well, my spirits are certainly lifted. We will march to our destiny with a song in our hearts, for Gondor and for all the free peoples. I think Forlong would not be ashamed of us, Andeng. Alright, there we go. Finished that quest finally. Let's go talk to Aragorn.
Are the men ready to march?
What did Dervin have to say? Are the men ready to march? You report the ranger's words, and Aragorn nods grimly. It pains me that such a course is necessary, but I take satisfaction in knowing the great loyalty and courage of the men with whom I march. Mithrandir calls you with concern in his voice. Alright, Mithrandir, let's talk.
Worry gnaws at me, my friend.
You were at the council of the captains, Andeng, and you heard the arguments for and against this march to the Black Gate. You must know of its importance, as I do. But still I am troubled. Before battle consumed Minas Tirith, I spoke with Faramir of his watch in Ithilien, and he told me that his men encountered 2 hobbits in the wild, Frodo and Sam. Briefly he held them, but he did not hinder their errand over long, and soon released them to their purpose. But a third there was, and he served our friends as their guide, Gollum. Faramir spoke against this creature, but Frodo believed he could be trusted, and insisted to follow him through a secret pass into Mordor. The pass is called Cirith Ungol. It is an evil place. I know enough of that past to know that danger lurks there in the darkness, and I fear that Frodo may trust his guide too readily. Alas, that our roads ran apart. A fortnight has passed since Frodo and Sam departed from Fairmere's care. My wandering mind worries at how little we know of their fates, Andang, and conjures terrible scenarios of what could have befallen. What has happened to our friends? What has happened to the ring? What might have befallen Frodo and Sam since they left Hineth and Noon in the company of Gollum? Alright, well, I think we'll have to wait for the answer until next episode. When we return, we will be session playing as Gollum, but that is not till next time. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you again real soon for another episode of the Battle of the Black Gate.